Good, we done? All right, guys.
For either or both of you, this is going to be your last season, I think, right? No more eligibility after this year. How does that change the approach, or how does that change just the mental outlook towards knowing that everything you do this year is going to be the last time?
My life during the season is how I live it out of season, so it's just like another day. The only thing that changes is that now we're just going to travel on the weekend, so nothing really changes.
I like that. For me, my perspective has shifted a lot. I think I've been I don't think I fully appreciated my time at Penn State as much as I wish I would have during each moment. And now that I know like a number of matches, how many I'll have left. This is my final season. I'm really grateful to be here, and I think that extra motivation to make the most of it, I feel like the fire inside is just burning brighter than ever.
Greg, when you look at your off-season that you had, what were some areas of focus for you, and then Bell has the same thing with you?
I would say some areas of focus for me in this off season were just mental, figuring it out mentally. I think that 90% of I think most of combat sports is mental. So if you lock that area down, I think you'll be all right.
Beau, for you, what was your off-season focus in terms of whether it was on the mat, on your feet, so on and so forth, from a technique standpoint? What were you focused on this off-season?
I think technically you gotta attack more with my feet on top. Have to turn people, pin them, and I think on bottom I've been pretty good there, but I continue to reestablish those fundamentals. But overall, I think the biggest jump has been mentally, as Greg was saying, and I think that I did an interview the other day, and they were saying how did it feel like getting that breakthrough last year, the year before that, and I don't think I've hit that breakthrough yet. I know how I've been training, I know how I'm feeling, and no one has gotten to see that yet. So I'm excited to show everyone what I've been working on.
Coming as close as you did last year to the ultimate goal, do you try to forget that result, or do you focus on the result to inspire you?
I think it's just readjusting my mindset. And I think it sounds like a cliche, like let go of the outcome, don't think about it. It did work. Different people focus on different things. And I know for me, throughout my life, whenever I've competed my best, it's when I truly don't care about winning. And letting go of that pressure, entering a flow state. People have documented it, talked about this flow state in a lot of different sports, a lot of different walks of life. I don't know how to explain it to other people, but I have figured out how to get into that flow state. So we're going to see a really good Beau Bartlett.
Last year, but I could be stubborn at times and things like that. So for me, if they tell me to do something, I kind of want to do the opposite. But I don't want to be up till 3 a.m. cutting weight anymore. And so, it kind of made sense for our lineup. We have some good guys other places and things like that. So it kind of made sense.
What's going through your mind? Or all you kind of really have to focus on is just wrestling. Like, all the work's been done, obviously there's pressure there for what the end goal could possibly be for you and your legacy and things like that. So, what kind of goes through your mind with all that?
Yeah, I always got a lot going through my mind, but for me, there is never any pressure. Like for me, I really couldn't care less about 5 NCAA titles, 4 NCAA titles. Like for me, it's not even about all that. Like for me, I just truly love going out there and just smashing somebody, and like that's part of the reason why I chose to do the All-Star match. Like I don't have to do the All-Star match, but I just love wrestling, and that's honestly why I chose to come back. And so I just love the competition. I love the fight, and so that's just kind of how I was brought up, how I was raised, and so just another opportunity to do that. And I just love it. I can do it all day long.
Carter, what do you think about this team? What do you expect from the team?
Yeah, I just think especially with our new AD, it's Pat Kraft. I mean, he just keeps finding new ways just to keep making things better, and I think our coaching staff is really exploiting that. As you can see, our team last year was really dominant, and we had a lot of records and things like that. But just now, even with losing some really good guys, I think this team can even be better. you know, and as we're all seniors and this is our last year, and I think it's the following year is going to be even better. So I just think that's a real good testament to our athletic department and our coaches, because they just keep finding ways to get better. And obviously after losing guys that are really good, they just keep finding ways to let's get those high school kids coming in, and those freshmen are always ready to go.
What are some things that Pat Kraft has done to
Everything.
help the program?
Literally, it's almost like, what hasn't he done? I mean, I know even last year when towards the end of the season with all that stuff happened, I mean, he was with me every single step of the way. I mean, he was a big part in helping me get to where I needed to get to health-wise, and just like how quick he was on things. I was just like, wow, this guy really cares, you know. And obviously we have football and other big sports teams, but he's just at every single event. I just like text him like, dude, like, how do you have so much energy, you know? And he's just like all over the place, and you can tell that he really loves it. And so when you have a guy like that, and a guy like Rick and Coach Kale and Pat and just Adam Lynch and all these guys that work so hard for you to make you do your job, it just kind of makes your job a lot easier, you know, because you're just like, you know, you have a lot of these guys that are helping me out, and so it just helps you just almost be relaxed and free. And for me, at least, it puts that fire in me, you know, when I have guys that truly have my back. It makes me want to have their back even that much more.
How do you feel?
How do I feel? I feel good. I feel great. I always feel great. Yeah, I mean, I get to wrestle. I mean, every single day I get practicing a little bit. So for me, that's kind of stuff I look forward to. And even with this All-Star match, I mean, I'm wrestling a guy that was pretty dominant last year, and things like that. So I'm excited to go show that I'm the dominant one.
Carter, what did you maybe learn about yourself through the leg injury, battling through it, and then rehabbing it in the off season to get to this point now?
I don't know if I learned. I mean, you're always learning and things like that. I mean, I always knew that I was going to win. I always knew that I was tough. I always knew that I don't need to be 100% healthy all the time. I remember this. It was like back maybe sophomore year. Me and Aaron Brooks were talking, and he was just always saying, like, because I always work out a lot. I'm always doing extra workouts and things like that. And so he was just like, you know, you shouldn't have to win when everything's going your way. Like, you shouldn't have to do every single workout. And like, I'm not saying like he's taking the approach where it's like almost be lazy with it, but he was more so saying that you should just win just because you're the better wrestler. You know, like if you're hurt, sick, if you're working out, not working out, you're just gonna win because you're the better wrestler. And I was just like, well, why don't you do that, but also do everything right too? But just in that moment, I kind of remember that conversation. You know, I don't need to train to beat these guys. You know, I mean, NCAA wrestling is really not that hard. I mean, you have a lot of guys that they're doing it's pretty good majors, or they're partying, they're doing X, Y, and Z. For me, I mean, I got wrestling, and so I just feel like if you're doing any less than me, I'm gonna go out there and dominate you. And there's no way you're doing more than me, because it's impossible. And if you are, now your body's overtrained, and I'm still going to dominate you. So I just feel like there's no really way around it. And so for me, that's just kind of where I get my confidence from.
For all three of you, if you'd like to answer, what is the mat room like now? There was obviously a big change to it with David Taylor going to Oklahoma State, but just what's kind of the vibe within the mat room, how everyone's competing, and the difference between, you know, seeing some key figures go to where it is in the present.
Just more opponents to go smash. That's how I look at it.
Yeah, no real change. Kind of stayed the same.
Yeah, there's no real change. I think on the outside looking in, it was kind of like, what's going on over there? Return to what we're doing. Nothing, no real change at all.
Have any of you had the opportunity to, as some of the older folks on the team at this point, you take any of the freshmen coming in under your wing, or give them advice, or?
I think, I don't know. I think they just come in ready to go. I think that's just more so for our coaches. They do a really good job at really making the team work. You know, I mean, obviously we're going out there and performing and things like that, but I think it's a lot more to it than just us going out there. And I just think it's hard to really explain because, I mean, you guys don't have the cameras on us all the time, but just a true testament to our coaches. They just really make sure that our team clicks and that we're ready to go when we need to be.
Logan Mendez, 3 times last year, this year could well be 4. What was the thought process in wanting this early, this week?
I want to scrap.
Succinct. Greg, what's your weight this year?
My weight?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like 245, 250.
Your dad low?
Yeah, I'm right where I want to be.
Yeah.
Greg, was it an easy decision to come back this season?
Yeah, I mean, wrestling's wrestling. Whether I'm doing it at Penn State or wherever, I'm always going to be wrestling. So, yeah, it was a pretty easy decision.
Were you able to adjust? I mean, it seemed like it, but from your point of view, the adjustment period to getting into freestyle when you hadn't competed in that actively for quite some time. So what did you maybe learn about yourself on the freestyle circuit there with the Olympic team trials?
I don't think I learned anything that I didn't already know. I like wrestling. I like folk style, freestyle. It's all cool. It's all grabbing legs and taking people down. So I don't mind it. It doesn't seem too big of a difference to me. So switching over is not very hard.
But why is that funny? Or why is Greg's answer funny?
I love hearing him talk. It's great.
Carter, this being your final year here, is there anything you're going to do differently, anything you're going to savor, any kind of things that your approach will change, or you're going to try to enjoy more knowing that it is your final year?
I mean, every year is always different. And I remember after my freshman year, after I won, Coach called me in his office and he was saying, "Congratulations, you did it." And he was like, "That was your easiest one." And I was like, "What do you mean?" I'm thinking it's going to get easier. And he was like, "It's your first one is always the easiest one. After that, it always gets harder." In which it has so far, just because life always goes on and there's always adjustments you have to make. And for me, I mean, again, it's not so much about wrestling. It's kind of developing who I am and things like that. And I guess just enjoying these, it's the rec hall and all the fans and the walkout and things like that. But I'm never leaving Penn State, so it's not so much where I'm like, oh, like I'm leaving, it's my last year. It's just, I don't look at it through that lens, just because if I had that lens, then I'd probably still be going like it's partying every day like I was in high school, or just something like that. I just feel like you just keep moving on in life and things like that. So it's not something that I'm kind of holding on to.
Beau, you seem like you have a whole different level of confidence than where you were in years past. Just because with your response there, you said, "I just want to scrap." Is it more you want to go out and prove what?
No.
Okay.
No. Yeah, I have nothing against any opponents at all. But I think last year I had so much confidence. I think it turned into arrogance a little bit. The whole year I was like, I'm winning NCAAs. So a lot of matches I don't think I cared enough to be fearless in those matches. I really just wanted to win. I was so focused on not losing against guys. I was like, I shouldn't lose to this guy, which is a terrible mindset to have. Like, everyone's working really hard. Doesn't make sense. Hoping that I would have like a breakout moment at NCAAs. Took the shot, didn't finish it. And I think I set myself up for failure because of that arrogance. And now it's not confidence that you're sensing. I think it's just freedom. Like, I don't feel weighed down by anything. I really just love to compete. I love to wrestle. I love this. And I'm going to wrestle the best I've ever wrestled. And we're going to see what happens.
That was inspiring.
This is for all you guys. Carter, I know you just said that you're not leaving Penn State, even though this is it for you. And I know you guys all have, a task at hand, but do you guys ever think about what comes next after this?
Wrestle here.
Yeah, I mean, I think a little bit in the future. Obviously, I want to be an Olympic champ and UFC champion, and so whatever's going to align with that to make that happen best is probably the next step I'll take. But right now, we have some business to take care of on Saturday and Sunday, so that's like more the main focus. But obviously, with the other things in mind too, you kind of have those thoughts. But I kind of just always try and stay focused on what's in front.
Just being present, doing what I can, wrestling every day. This has been really good for me. And try not to look past this. At NCAAs last year, I was so focused on Olympic trials. During NCAAs, I even said it in an interview. I was like, it doesn't matter who wins the finals tomorrow. We're both going to Olympic trials. And that mindset, that's a regret. People have regrets in their life. I think I wasn't fully present. So right now I'm just thinking who I'm going to beat up at practice today, respectfully.
Who are you going to beat up at practice today?
We'll figure it out. I don't know. It'll be good though.
What is Nick Lee, well, I'll ask you, what has Nick Lee brought to this team as an assistant coach? I know he's been in the room, obviously, been around you guys, but as an assistant coach on the staff, what has he brought to you guys this offseason?
It's really awesome that he can still wrestle competitively. The coaches are really, really good partners, and I think they have a lot of tricks. Like, I'm not gonna say old man tricks. They're not that old, but like they have a lot of knowledge they can use that really takes advantage of like positions. But Nick is still like familiar with competing, so the way he reacts in certain things is just a little bit different, and it's really cool having a younger coach that's in between a coach with a lot of experience and someone that's actively competing. He's just that really good bridge between all the coaches and athletes.
We good?
How much you guys looking forward to starting?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Good.
It's cool.
Yeah.
All right, thank you guys.